If you are looking into buying cheap and safe FIFA coins, look no further than footcoinshop.net. They have the fastest service, an incredible loyalty reward system, and the best prices around. Use my creator code Inception when you sign up for your account and get a 5% discount with your order. Hey guys, what's going on? Inception here, and welcome to another video. Apparently we have a new evolutions to check out today. Again guys, with evolutions, I always tell you guys in the beginning of the videos that you probably should go on the sentimental route, especially if you guys are new to the game, you know, you're Christmas noobs or anything like that. It's ideal to go for sentimental cards that you truly believe, you know, won't even get like a team of the season, won't get any sort of like promo card in the future. It's always the younger players that are really nice to choose, because like for me, if it's like FC Porto, like if I went to with like Romario Barro or something, like I don't see him ever getting a card, right? So it's cool to do evolutions for cards like that, because you could potentially improve them even further in the future, right? So that's kind of like the whole ordeal with these types of cards. But this game is also very, very meta oriented, right? You definitely have to choose cards that will play well enough in the meta, because the game modes are set up that way for you to win, right? So always important to take a look at it from both sides, right? Okay, so the new evolution today is going to be called High Visibility. So you can clearly see that the improvements that they give the card initially, it's one of those ones where, again, if you are new to the game, it's ideal to choose a card like this so that you could potentially improve them in the future, okay? So with this one, let's see what the upgrades are. It's going to be +2 for pace, long passing, curve, shooting. He gets pinged pass. Pinged pass is actually a W, and then he gets long ball pass as well. Okay, so both of the play styles are actually Ws. Yeah, they're actually Ws. So that's pretty good. That's not too bad at all, actually. Cool. All right. So let's take a look at some of the options that you could potentially work with when it comes to the meta of the game, because obviously there's always going to be like the sentimental options that and the routes that people can go to, obviously, but it's always super important to check out some cards that could obviously be good to use at first, right? So I think with this evolution, again, going in the route of sentimental value might be the most ideal thing, because for some cards, you know, there's some improvements you can get, obviously, but they just need even further improvements in the future. Because I think with this one, you know, you go to high visibility, right? So then you would kind of have to search for stuff like maybe FC Founders, potentially. No FC Founders. Okay. What about the midfielder ones, right? Like you go to like Dribbling Sensation and stuff. So Dribbling Sensation, yeah, so this is where you start to see where you can combine certain things, right? Because there's certain evolutions that do similar upgrades to this one, right? Where it's like a +1, +2, +3 sort of difference. So sometimes there's going to be cards that you can actually double upgrade as of right now, if you really need the cards now, right? So that's going to be the whole situation right now. So, you know, there's cards like Adrian Rabiot. You have Tameze, who's a card that people have been selecting. Sometimes, you know, it depends, because right now he doesn't have like the craziest play styles for the defensive positions, but he is a Serie A player, plays for some French national links, right? Team probably not as crazy, but like obviously the link ups with him would definitely be really nice. I don't know what this card is like, because the way that he's formatted in game is on a controlled explosive, right? I've yet to see him one time on a person's team, and I think the reason being for this is because he just doesn't have enough play styles in defense to be a card that someone would consistently go for and have an idea of what he would like. What he would be like defensively, right? There's a card that's actually trending here that I believe is a striker. Let me see if it's this guy actually. I think it's a striker. It's a Mofi or something. Yeah. So there's this card, right? So. Oh, but that's keeping balance. No, you have to check the actual evolutions. So if you go to Mofi, keeping balance, keeping balance, keeping balance, it's all keeping balance. So why is he trending for keeping balance? That's weird. Oh, is it because of... Oh, inform, I guess? I don't know, that's weird. I don't know why he's trending then. You can see that there's all the options here. There's like the trending ones right now, like they're probably not going to show up right away. High visibility, see? Like it's a lot of the lower rated cards that you could potentially improve in the future. Like that's the direction for this sort of evolution, right? So got Lukaku, we have So gets a double upgrade here. His highest one was Pitch Commander. during that time period, get some pretty significant improvements, but this one's not too bad, right? You know, nice little pace boost, controlled player shadow chemistry style for the people that are working with some sort of like Swiss link. It's not necessarily terrible. Yeah, this is like mostly dribbling sensation. So stuff like this you could see as well, right, with Jetson Fernandez. So he's like one of the main guys that you obviously see in the game, but you can further improve him, right? So you can put him into high visibility with dribbling sensation. You get some pretty good link ups and stuff. Obviously, this card was the more sought after player during that time period because as a pitch commander, you know, he's got great play styles to work with. You know, on a shadow chemistry side, he's got good pace, good defensive stats. So for the Portuguese guys or for the people that build any sort of like Super League team, it's definitely pretty solid for that sort of stuff. But yeah, most of this is dribbling sensation. So let's see if there's like Trequartista time, for instance. If there's anything like too crazy with that one. Always might be, right? Always might be. So that one, no. I want to see if maybe Founders Evolution. Founders Evolution, I see nothing as well. Yeah, so nothing for that one. Let me do this just to see what happens here. Do a few of them. Nope. All right, so let's see here. So let's take a look. This is definitely like sentimental routes. Sentimental for like, because like I said, this evolution and the other evolution that you're adding to it, it's kind of like improving the card once, then twice, then 3 times. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it is. It's like getting an inform for that card essentially. But yeah, we can do this. We can go to keeping balance. You're always gonna see like the popular choices here, right? No, not keeping balance, excuse me. High visibility. So Camavinga is the top one, which makes sense. I mean, Camavinga has like the base mechanics, but obviously he also has an Evo right now that'd be really good. Excuse me. Which is the Pep's Legacy, right? Pep's Legacy would be really solid on Camavinga. Declan Rice gets like that 1 inform improvement again, but these cards, they're cool to get like at first, right? This is a pretty significant improvement for Mainu, right? But again, I think at this point, for people that did do all of this, they probably got to a point where like he's already upgraded to a point where they like him a lot, right? But for some people that only did Golden Globe Part 1, put him into dribbling sensation, high visibility, you get a pretty significant improvement on the card as well. Right, he's a high work rate player, 5'9". I've used this card before. I think the higher ups are definitely going to be more ideal to get in general, but not too bad there. A lot of these cards, again, Limer and stuff could definitely be really solid. This is what you do, right? So when you go on these websites and you search for specific cards that, you know, could be cool, you always got to search to see if there's more than one evolution that you can currently use, right? Again, with these evolution selections, because they're mainly going to be like sentimental routes, that could potentially improve in the future. Like that's kind of like the ideal thing about them, right? Because they improve certain areas of the card so that when they drop another evolutions, and you can improve those certain areas as well, right? So yeah, Limer is gonna be trending for like the Bundesliga links because he has a good work rate and stuff too. Dominguez is an Argentinian player that plays in the Premier League that gets a pretty significant improvement from Trailblazer Interceptor. So that's interesting. So for people that did that card during that time period, they can now upgrade this Dominguez card to further improve him, right? So he's a 5-star weak foot player, which is a W, right? But shooting stats is on the lower side. So this is a card that would 100% play in a 4-3-2-1 as like a stay back cover center player for sure. Playstyles wise, he has intercept plus, incisive pass, slide tackle, relentless, pings pass, long ball pass. So a couple of passing stuff, which is actually really nice. Like when you have that playing in the center mid role on stay back while attacking cover center, it's actually pretty decent. It's not bad whatsoever. Bacetic actually has like good base mechanics. So in this situation here, if you gave him a growth spurt and then you gave him a high visibility, again, it would improve the card pretty nicely because he's a medium high work rate player. So if you're building any sort of team where you want to have Liverpool players, it's ideal to use a card like this in that medium high work rated role, playing in the CDM position. He doesn't have any defensive playstyles, which is a little bit of a letdown for the card for sure. I'm not going to say that it isn't, but I still feel like he'd be pretty decent. Like for certain formations where it's like a 4-3-3 false 9 where you have like that one CDM, sometimes having these guys on like deep lying playmaker, like that specific instruction, is very helpful, right? Because he has the passing capabilities to kind of transition the play forward, right? Which is obviously very, very nice. So you can go this route as well, right? For people that are new to the game, they want to use an obvious, usable version of Bajcetic, you can't go wrong with that, right? It's definitely a pretty decent option too. Onana, he's received a few cards this year already. Definitely has some pretty decent evolutions by now, right? Some that have expired. He gets the massive improvements from high visibility, keeping balance on that one. Some of these that expired. So if you did Centurions box to box because you're an Everton fan during that time period, because if you didn't do Llorente and you weren't doing it for sentimental, you're crazy. Keeping balance on Onana would put him at this point as well. So this is a card that, honestly, like, even if I were to view it myself, it's hard to see him getting a promo card, right? It's a little bit difficult, even if it was like a team of the season. So it wouldn't have been bad to start off with this card and then improve him further, right? So that's why there's all these options here, because this new evolution gives you that further improvement for a card that's going to be pretty sentimental for a few people, as well as pretty decent in game, right? Like, you always want to try to aim for sentimental, but they have to be still meta to use in game as well, right? So Mateusz Nunes is obviously another very good example, because he's received quite a few cards as well, ones that again have expired, right? So you got Dribbling Sensation to Radioactive Maestro and stuff, right? So what we do is you would hide the ones that have expired. He has Rare Defender Upgrade, he has High Visibility, so he has like all these ones that are just like +1s, but then he had versions before where there was a little bit more than one, right? So usability wise, it was drastically increased. So always be very mindful of the cards that you have done in the past. If you are not new to the game, definitely very, very important to mention. But yeah, guys, love the option. As I was mentioning earlier, definitely a lot of sentimental stuff right off the bat, right? So even Ugart, right? So Ugart has this one, right? I mean, if you did this, you're a little crazy. I don't want to use Centurions box-to-box midfielder into a high visibility, you know what I'm saying? Imagine someone having this card. If someone had this card, if I matched up against this, I would be shocked. I really would be. This would be nuts to come up against. But yeah, Shadow Chemistry style, pace, defense, but I don't think anybody even has this guy, to be honest. Trying to see some other stuff, right? So a lot of sentimental, like Sar for the Spurs links as well. Mateusz Nunes, Maitland-Niles. Maitland-Niles has had like a few evolution cards this year where like he's kind of like maxed out to be pretty solid, right? Like the detail-oriented one right here, 87 rated, eh? Not too bad, man. Not too bad. Like Bruiser wingback into Centurions box-to-box into triple threat to wingback. Like, that's pretty solid. But this one is just like for the which rating? It's 87 as well. So, oh, you can actually go all the way here. Oh, so from Radioactive Maestro, you would give him the improvement. But I think it takes away that chemistry situation, which I don't like, because for a card like that, the links are a little bit harder to work with. This should be kept within the card. I don't know why that's ever been changed. That'd be a little bit weird if it was like that. But yeah, I mean, same old, same old. This is definitely more sentimental than anything. If you want to check out some different link ups that you can work with, you can obviously use a website like this where you just go all the way to the beginning. You go to high visibility. And then, you do stuff like, oh, not standard, excuse me. So you do stuff like this. You go to high visibility, right? You can see all the different options over here for like some of the cards that you may want to improve sentimental wise. Filters, in my case, it would be like Portuguese if I didn't do the first owner RTG, right? And then I would see like, okay, like who can I improve right now? Who can I get in the future? Is there anything with like Pep's Legacy and having two evils at the same time? Boom, right? So this is the type of stuff that you have to look for. So a situation like this, you get high visibility, Pep's Legacy, right? You get improvements for a card like this. There's always going to be like 2 or 3 different ones you can work with, right? So that's Pep's Legacy with that. Maybe there's like lower rated ones. The lower rated cards are not bad to get because it only takes like one crazy evolution to like really improve certain cards, right? So that's like one you could try. You could do like a growth spurt maybe, right? Growth spurt part 1. You can see that you have some options here, right? So this guy from a 71 all the way to an 86, he gets massive improvements. So if you're a fan of this guy IRL, then you can improve him, right? But because that's like the whole point, because a guy like this, he's just like, he's never gonna get a card, you know what I'm saying? So honestly, if I was like him IRL, like look at the massive improvements on the card. Pretty nuts, right? Like all the way to this point, or the growth spurt is the best one. So you would do high visibility like a rock, growth spurt, he gets pretty massive improvements, right? Portuguese player that plays in a Liga NOS, like if people went in that direction, you actually have some pretty decent play styles to work with, right? But I'm not showing you guys these ones specifically like, oh, look at the meta options. I'm just showing you the massive improvement you can do going in the sentimental routes, right? Because a lot of people are not going to care about some of these guys, but look at the improvements that they've received, right? 3-star, 3-star. Let's see what his work rates are, medium, high. So that's it, right? A Liga NOS CDM that has okay play styles, mostly for like passing, no defensive ones, right? But if you went in that route, not too bad either, right? But look at the massive improvements, right? High visibility into growth spurt. It's a bunch of players that, again, you just would not see if it was like anybody else. So try to go sentimental route, right? If you're building some sort of like Brazilian team or French team or, you know, club team, always look into that stuff, right? If I were to do this stuff, maybe I would even check to see if FC Porto has anything, right? So I would go to FC Porto, which would be right here, right? So take a look. This is the guy that I was mentioning earlier, right? So Romario Barro. This guy's never going to get a car in the future, like never, right? So if you're an FC Porto fan, like look at the massive improvements, right? So we got Frank over here, high visibility into growth spurts. We have Bruno Costa here. Almeida Costa? No, Bruno Costa. Anyways, he gets massive improvements as well. So it's ideal to go in this route. That's what I'm trying to say. It's ideal to go in this route because in the future, I'll be able to do an evolution on top of this evolution, and then that's where it's really going to matter, okay? This is just like another very good example, right? But the website, I follow their Twitter, right? And they posted this guy, for instance, right? So let's say I am a Super League guy, right? And I want to improve a Fenerbahce player. This is a really good example. Like if you guys truly believe that this guy will never get a team of the season, you know, center mid, cam, you look at this card in game, you know, Shadow chemistry style or Hunter chemistry style, depending on what direction you want to go. It's a pretty cool card, right? It's 3-star, 4-star, center mid, cam, high. But the usability of a card like this is sick. You know, he's got really good passing play styles as well, dead ball plus, right? So it's ideal to go in this route. Like you could see that this one has 3 different options, right? So you go high visibility, dribbling sensation, growth spurt, right? So we could even do that ourselves, right? A high visibility, growth spurt, and dribbling sensation. That's why earlier I selected dribbling sensation, because that's the one that has the small improvements as well, right? So if you were to take this out and you were just to search, you may be able to find some that have like 3 different options, right? So look at this guy, right? Borges Gedge. I can honestly bet money that this guy will never get any card in the future, right? And with him, when you select him, you can always see the best options that you have, right? So even if I went to like a rock with him, right, that's the best option I can go with, like during the time period of all the cards being available. But look, I can even make him a controlled lengthy player. So technically speaking, if I gave him an anchor chemistry style, he's lengthy on that, but I'd probably still give him a shadow, to be honest, with the way that he's formatted. But like, look, an FC Porto player, work rates in game, medium, low, really, really weird card. But I mean, dude, you'd have fun with a card like this. If you're an FC Porto fan, like, you know, if you score a goal with him, it'd be hilarious, you know? So yeah, try to go in this route. I think it'll be more fun for a lot of people. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video today. I'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace out, dudes. Love you guys.